the next book I have up is The Places That Scare You by Pema Chödrön. I think that's how you pronounce her name. But this book was the first book I read when I decided to dive into self-help books. And this was a great place to start. She is known for her Buddhist ideals, and a lot of these books are kind of, they have like a transcendentalism type vibe. Definitely some, like I said, Buddhist, Dalai Lama type, Gandhi vibes. But I love this book because it's another one that takes you outside of the realm of, oh, well, you're thinking this because it just makes you, it tells you that, but it also tells you what type of thoughts to look out for. It asks you to center yourself more. It's definitely a this, if I had to say, out of all these books, this is the mindfulness book. This one is more like, you know, type Zen, yogi type vibes. This is that book. So I took a lot from it. As you can see, I have more annotations here that I'm gonna actually revisit soon. So if you're into like the Buddhist type vibes, this would be a great book. Some people can't get past that type of thing if it's kind of, it doesn't have any religious, I wouldn't say it's a religious book, but it definitely brings in some of those Buddhist principles. So if you can't get past that, then I wouldn't recommend this book to you, but I would definitely recommend The Untethered Soul, because that one's more of a even playing field for any religion. So definitely great book. And the last book that I want to recommend to you guys is one that I'm actually currently reading. I'm not quite done with it yet, but I'm halfway through, and I just kind of felt like it's spoken to me enough that I can actually recommend it to someone else. So I picked this book up. It's called Know Your Value, and it is by, I have to get her name right because I don't want to take that sticker off the front. It's called Know Your Value by Micah Brzezinski. And I have a story to tell about why I picked this book up. This is it up close. So in the mornings, what I normally do is I make my breakfast and I have the news playing in the back. So I have it on the Today Show. So she came on the Today Show and she was speaking about her book because it released that day. And I don't know what it was, but she gave me some boss babe vibes. Like, she was just like basically summarizing what the book was about, and her confidence and her enthusiasm and just her sureness of herself just spoke to me. And the way she talked about the book, it was very intriguing, and I was just like, wow, I have to get this book, because if the book is anything like her, it's gonna speak to me. It's gonna definitely be what I want it to be. So she just seemed like a really empowering person, just by how she carried herself, the way she spoke on the book. And she said a couple of things that stood out to me. For one, the book is about basically women, money, and getting what you're worth, is what the actual front of the book says. And that's what it's essentially about, is women in the workplace, why we are underpaid versus men, why you are not being considered for a raise, just that type of thing, of how a woman can better assert herself in the workplace. So one of the things that stood out to me that she said while she was on the show was, if you go into a meeting and you walk out and you feel like, oh, well, everyone in there seemed to like me, she said, you just bombed that meeting. And I was like, okay, because she goes into this also in the book, that a lot of the times women, we like to be liked, and in the workplace that makes no sense. Like, well, I wouldn't say it makes sense, but that shouldn't be our end goal, is to make everyone like us. Like, you know, she compares and contrasts how women think versus how men think in the workforce, and why the way we think does not serve us, especially in today's age where, you know, women, we are just as qualified, we have a higher rate of having higher education. So that book to me, this book to me is everything I need to be reading right now. Like I said, I'm in the workplace, I'm in corporate America, so this is something that I definitely am glad I picked up. She incorporates a lot of perspective, and she interviews a lot of other women who are currently in the workplace and who are higher up in their careers. So she interviews a lot of CEOs, a lot of women who have worked on Wall Street, people who have worked for the president. So I really like the book so far. She's definitely addressing some issues that I know for a fact that I do, and I hate that I do it, but because I've been conditioned by society, and because, you know, I've never been told that I'm doing that, it kind of is resonating to me a lot more than I thought it would. It's definitely calling me out on a lot of things, habits that I have, like wanting to be liked, and waiting until after a meeting to speak what I wanted to really say, or being talked over. Like, just all of these, she addresses all of those issues that a lot of women may identify with. So she hit a home run with this book. I would buy this book again. So this is, you know, for my women who are in the corporate America or in the workforce and want to make an impact and positively impact their career and start on the right track and get rid of those bad habits that we've been conditioned to have. Please pick up this book. I highly recommend it. It's a New York Times bestseller. It's not a hard read. The book is about 230 pages, so you can quickly get through that. You can read this on the airplane, which is really how I flew through it so fast. I'm already halfway, and I just started it maybe last weekend, and I haven't read it since. If I would have kept reading it after I started it, I would have finished it within 3 days. So those are my book recommendations. I hope you guys like it. I'll definitely update this list when I get through some other books. The next book I currently have on my list to read is Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and I actually was recommended by a coworker that book, and I've heard it before, I just never read it. But the coworker who recommended that to me also mentioned that they had their spouse read it, and I thought that was an excellent idea, so I'm gonna make my boyfriend read it with me as well, but that's next on my list. So if you guys have any book recommendations, please let me know. I love to read. I'm an avid reader when I have the opportunity to, so let me know down in the comments below, and like and subscribe if you like this video. Once again, thanks guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.